Why do sometimes we let people that we care about and love treat us poorly or even do things that we don't agree with? And you see that those people are actually suffering, but you can't do anything to help them because you're afraid of the reaction of being rejected or being kicked out or even hated by that person. What do we do in those circumstances? Because sometimes we have to face our fears and actually act, even no matter the consequence of those actions. Sometimes the best course of action is acting, it's to actually face those fears and choose to fight for what you believe in. Because the best act of love is to actually communicate with that person. And in this case, for today's video, to fight it out, to actually communicate with your fists in order to make that person see the light. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Psychonomy YouTube channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video, I want to talk about Togame. Togame from Windbreaker was my surprise favorite character from the first season of the anime. Is he pulled up into my top favorite characters in this anime. I really love Togame's character. And if you start Windbreaker, of course, when you reach the first arc, the Shishitoren arc, you will be confused by my statement because Togame is presented as not a good guy. He's extremely scary. He has these glasses. He is extremely imposing, and his aura is just he's scary. He treats his team poorly. When someone acts in a certain way or they act weak or pathetic, he will kick them out and basically beat them up for those actions. But once we get to know Tsukame during his fight with Sakura during the arc, you realize that those things are actually an act. Togame is a very good actor because he put a lot of pressure into himself to act this way in order to protect Shoji, his best friend. I already talked about Shoji and all of his problems with depression and emptiness, with the whole like feeling a hole into himself because all of the pressure into being the strongest, the best in his group, and how when he finds it he realized that there's nothing, that there's no enjoyment into getting a goal if there's going to be nothing to enjoy anymore. And Togame was always there by Shoji's side. He's his best friend. He's a the introvert to Shoji's extroversion. They are very polar opposites who complement each other so well that when Shoji started to crack, Togame just pulled back. He basically ran away from conflict. He was afraid of confrontation, of those discussions, because he didn't want to lose Shoji. He didn't want Shoji to hate him and kick him out of the one place it felt like he had finally belonged, that he finally found his son. Because of that fear and running away from conflict, he basically became submissive. There's something called emotional dependency or affective submission. Basically, you become so attached emotionally to another person because you don't want to lose them, you don't want to lose that connection because of the fear of what the other person might say, of that emotional reaction. You don't want to be abandoned or be in the middle of a conflict. So you basically submit to that person and not say anything. That's basically what Togame did. He was so afraid of Shoji's change in attitude from that sunny, bubbly, rabbit like personality to something angrier and depressing. Like he saw that hole in his chest, but he was so afraid of that conflict with Shoji that he backed down and basically became the bad guy of the story. And Togame is not the bad guy of the story. He's just an 18-year-old who is so afraid and so concerned of his wonderful friend who pulled him out of the darkness. But now he has to make do with what he has. He has to basically put on this bad guy persona, do the things that Shoji was actually about to do, which is basically purge everyone that wasn't strong because of his deluded mind. Because in Shoji's mind, everyone that was weak cannot compete with him, and if nobody can compete with him, then his burden will continue. So Togame put on the pressure himself to do that, to purge everyone that was weak, that was scum. And you see this with his character design because you see his character design in the first season. His normally longish, shaggy hair will be tied up in a braid, symbolizing that he has basically a string attached. He ties himself up. It's basically like a symbol of his chains. And his sunglasses became a way to blind himself to the sun that is Shoji until one day his son will come out. And it's very sad to see a kid do that. He was so afraid of being rejected. He was so afraid of a conflict with his friend that he became like that, became submissive. In situations like this, it's better to actually tell the person, or in this case, in Togame's case, he's 18, the teenager. In this case, my best solution is to actually make them confront those fears, make them confront their their friend, because like I said in the beginning, it's way better to actually confront that fear that actually do nothing. Of course, in some cases, it's not actually a good thing to confront those fears. Those are when the relationship is actually very toxic for that person. And in that case, it's better recommended to actually cut those ties and never contact that person again. This is a true story for me. I had a very toxic friend once when I was a teenager. And I never was actually able to confront her because I was like Togame, I was so afraid to confront her that I became submissive. But the thing I did was basically to cut everything. I moved to another school and cut every contact with her. uh, from that day onward, I've never seen her again, and my life improved so much better. In Togame's case, his relationship with Shoji wasn't necessarily toxic. It only became toxic because Togame never actually confronted Shoji, and Shoji was really so much. He was way too much in his head with all of the things that was happening to him. But the thing that Togame actually did that was so admirable at the end of the arc was actually realizing that he had to have confronted Shoji himself. That even if it hurt, he had to actually confront his friend and maybe those things wouldn't have happened because, like he realized later, Shoji loves him so much too. Shoji appreciates Togami as his best friend, and he's really great confident. And my cat is into Merlin is into I can say that anything to him. And it's only after Shoji's fight with Umemiya when Shoji realizes that he neglected everyone around him. He pushed everyone away in his pursuit for strength. That he made Togami suffer. And it wasn't right with him. He had to actually confront that connection he has because he loves his team and he loves Togame as his best friend. And Togame realizing that the old Shoji was starting to bloom again was so relieved that he actually cried, and they actually talked to each other for the first time in months, because it wasn't just a few weeks that this happened, it was months. We don't know exactly how long it took for this relationship to begin crumbling so hard like it was in the beginning. But there's some indices that it was after Sako joined, after Wanajima, one of the strongest members of this group, left temporarily. I'm taking notes on that because I've actually read the manga and I know a bit of the side stories that was revealed in the game. Yeah, it's revealed that it's kind of like months ago, less than a year. That less than a year is enough for everything to basically go to hell. I have experience with that. That once you realize that everything is wrong, you can't ignore it and it will eat you up inside, and it could cause a lot of resentment and pain and a deep sense of loneliness. And this is what Togame felt. He was so lonely and in so much pain for having to do something that he didn't want to do. It was just an act that he started to do in order to protect Shoji, in order to protect the little crumbles of relationship that they had with one another, in order for it to not let it crumble away. And I love that at the end, Shoji actually thanked Togame for all of his sacrifice and all of the pain that he endured. He thanked him and then said sorry for having to make Togame endure everything, and he didn't realize that that was what he was doing. I really love their relationship, and I really love Togame's character because what Sakura told him is the truth, and it's something that Togame needed to hear, that basically that he won't let anyone dilute who he is, that the strongest people are actually those that are true to themselves and fight for who they are. They not submit to anyone. They are themselves because they are strong, and they are strong because they are themselves. That's basically Sakura's whole motto, his whole personality. He is himself, and he tries to be himself in every situation that he's in. And this is something that Togame resonated with because he wasn't himself. He acted in a certain way and shied away from what he wanted to actually do, which is tell Shoji what the hell he was saying, what the hell he was doing. That wasn't actually the Shoji that he loved. After all of Togame actually became a better person and actually started to become more like his awkward, really introverted self. Because the real Togame is actually a soft turtle who loves his friends and is very protective. Like he's kind of like a really big monk who imparts wisdom and likes to eat a lot. And I say turtle because Togame in Japanese means turtle in reference to the hair and the turtle. Yeah, I really love Togame. I love his character development, the way that I know some people in the fandom really didn't like that he cut his braid, his long hair, but it's more so like there's symbolism of cutting your hair in order to start anew. This is what Togame actually did, that he cut that braid that he has in order to symbolize that he was not tied up anymore, that he was actually free and will start anew in a new era for Shishitoren. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day. Please drink water, take care of your pets. Mine is sleeping in my PC right now. If you like this video and want more content for this channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more. Please don't forget to comment if you have any recommendations, anime that you want me to tackle, anime that you want me to react to, or any other character that you want me to actually talk about. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.